the world doesn't quite understand that yet, and you can't blame everybody for not quite understanding that. The human race had hundreds of thousands of years to figure out fire, right?
Saylor predicted that Bitcoin's days were numbered in a tweet in 2013. Because of specific characteristics, the billionaire CEO strongly supports cryptocurrencies. However, by 2020, he had tweeted that he possessed 17,732 Bitcoins, which he had purchased at an average price of $9,882 a coin. Saylor claimed he fell down the rabbit hole researching Bitcoin during the epidemic and was wrong for not supporting Bitcoin when it was in the $600 mark.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think of Bitcoin it's digital energy, and it's also digital money and it's digital property, and it reflects such a profound new idea that unless you spend 10 or 100 hours or more, and unless you have a need to embrace a new idea, you wouldn't really appreciate it and understand it. So
if you tried to buy a house 100 years ago, it would have been $100,000, and now it's worth 50 million bucks. If you try and store wealth into the future, it's going to be eroded or taken or stolen. And I personally think that Bitcoin is the solution to that. Would you agree that that's one of the biggest problems that we face right now? And if so, is Bitcoin the solution to that problem?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest problem that we face as a civilization, so how do I conserve energy or how do I propagate energy forever? And Bitcoin is a solution to this problem. Paper money isn't a solution to the problem. Land and buildings aren't really a good solution. Gold isn't a good solution. And so
Michael Saylor's day job as CEO of Microstrategy is impressive, but his love for Bitcoin jumps out when it comes to his public image. He takes the time to explain Bitcoin and dispel some myths that have prevented people from investing in it.
So I really need something that's not going to deflect. It's not going to move, not 1 inch in 100 years, right? And if we look at things that advance the human race, steel's an example of a low deflection form of metallic energy. Building an economic system, a company, a country, an institution on Bitcoin, as opposed to on Venezuelan bolivars, right? How long is your company going to last on a currency which is hyperinflating, right? Not 5 years. How long will your company last built on a currency like the US dollar? You said the US dollar lost 99.5% of its value over 80 years. That doesn't work as a foundation, as a balance sheet. And so Bitcoin represents, a liquid, fungible, synthetic asset that you can use to build a balance sheet. If you're a family, a company, a country, you can move it anywhere, right? It doesn't degrade, right? The maintenance cost is lower than any other form of asset. And if you know that you're building on a firm foundation, you can look out 100 years or 1,000 years. And, that's a profound idea.
He's known for heaping lots of praises for Bitcoin mining and its impact on the world. Saylor and his firm Microstrategy are so confident in Bitcoin that they took out a $205 million loan in March to acquire more of it, with Bitcoin as collateral.
The way I think about Bitcoin is in its purest form, I think of it as digital energy. And if I look out at the history of the human race and the advance of civilization, I think the civilization was advanced by fire, a form of chemical energy, and it's advanced by water, right? Which is a form of gravitational energy when you're channeling gravity through water. All of these forms of energy move us forward as a civilization. But now there's this concept of digital energy, and people think, well, what is it? I don't even believe it is. What? Well, I mean, I could put $1 billion, on one end of the planet, convert $1 billion of fiat currency into $1 billion of Bitcoin, move it to the other end of the planet in an hour, and convert it back into Japanese yen and convert that into electricity and electrocute you with it, or convert it into, mechanical energy, or convert it into cars, or convert it into buildings. right? $1 billion moving over a wire becomes whatever you want it to be. And what is it? All of these are just transformations. And the human race really hasn't really had the ability to transform energy into digital form. And once you do it, you realize that it's profound impact on the concept of property. What if I could have digital property? What is property? Property is low frequency money. What is money? Mid frequency energy. If I have $1 billion and hold it for 30 years, it's digital property. If I could put it in a building, then it's physical property. I could put it in a Bitcoin, then it's digital property. What if I speed it up a bit and I pay for your coffee with it? Now it looks like digital money. What if I speed it up a lot and I do 100,000 transactions a minute with it? That's digital energy. And the world doesn't quite understand that yet, and you can't blame everybody for not quite understanding that. The human race had hundreds of thousands of years to figure out fire, right?
Michael Saylor has provided historical examples and analogies of the ability to store and transport energy, providing an interesting perspective on how early Bitcoin adoption is.
So here's big idea, right? Bitcoin's got $800 billion worth of energy on the main net, on the level 1. You can move that energy in minutes for dollars. But when that energy flows to the layer 2, Lightning, you can move that energy in seconds for a penny. Pennies, maybe fraction of pennies. And when that energy moves to layer 3, Cash App is layer 3, Binance is a layer 3, Coinbase is a layer 3, FTX is a layer 3. When it moves to a layer 3, you can move that in milliseconds for nothing. So coming up with a way to store economic energy for 100 years or 1,000 years is a challenge. And what if I told you, right, the human race, the longest we ever managed to get anything to live economically was 35 years. And now we just came up with this thing that has a theoretical life of forever. I'd say 2/3 of the people on Twitter, or 2/3 of the people that I track, they don't really get the idea of digital energy, because just in their mind, they're just prejudiced against the idea. You know what they say? They go, oh, it's not digital energy because it doesn't generate electricity on the other end. It's like, so let's come back to digital energy. Is a Bitcoin digital energy? Well, if I send it to you and you're in Tokyo, what does it take for you to convert it back into electricity? Just all you got to do is run it through your computer, plug it into a local fiat exchange it for yen, and buy yourself some kilowatt hours, and it becomes electricity.
For cryptocurrency investors who want to get more out of the market, you need to learn a thing or two from Michael Saylor. We've come to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more.